in closed session, so my apologies. So here we go. If we could have roll call, please.
Councilmember Carr?
Here.
Councilmember Panduro, are you online? Okay, we'll come back to that. Councilmember Santu?
Here.
Councilmember Tonneson?
Here.
Councilmember Williams?
Here.
Vice Mayor Bertani?
Here.
And Mayor Moy.
Key.
Thank you.
And our invocation tonight will be presented by Pastor Vernon Burrows of Community United Methodist Church. Hi, Pastor.
Good evening, everyone. Let us
evening.
bow our heads in a moment of prayer. Gracious and sovereign God, we pause in this moment to acknowledge your presence, first of all, and to seek your guidance. And as these members gather to serve this community, grant them wisdom to make decisions that promote the common good, courage to pursue justice even when it is difficult, and compassion for every person whose life will be affected by their work. And in times when our nation and communities often feel divided, help us remember that we are neighbors. Teach us to listen with respect, speak with grace, and work together in the spirit of unity. And may the voices of this room reflect not only differing perspectives, but also a shared commitment to the well-being of this city and all who call it home. Give these council members clarity of mind, fairness of heart, and integrity in every decision they make. And let their work tonight bring hope where there is discouragement, solutions where there are challenges, and justice where there is a need. And Lord, we ask a special blessing upon the first responders, police officers, our fire department, and even those that are on the battlefield, that you will throw your arms of protection around them and protect them from hurt, harm, or danger seen and unseen. Bless this city, its leaders, its families, and all who live and work here. And may the outcome of this meeting strengthen the bonds of the community and move us toward a future marked by peace, opportunity, and mutual respect. And we offer this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. And now I would like to ask Madam Clerk to lead us, please, in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in saluting our flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. And now we're going to go to council reports. And I'd like to start with Councilwoman Panduro, who is coming to us online. Oh, she's not here?
She's not
Oh, I'm
here.
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, then we'll start with Councilman right here next to me, Manveer Sandhu.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of things to touch on. About a week ago, I had the pleasure of attending the installation ceremony for the 26, 27 officers of the Filipino-American community of Fairfield, Sassoon, and Vacaville. Special shout out to the chief. He officiated their swearing in for the board. So congratulations to President Rob Bassa and the entire board for the upcoming year. The second thing, this past weekend, I had the chance and opportunity to attend the conference, the Civic Well Policymaker Conference. It's really focused around housing, sustainability, energy, And the conversation was about, for example, how do you develop in fire-prone areas? What kind of development do you do? We talked a lot about energy and how you get your energy, the difference between investor-owned utilities or municipal-owned utilities, or more like Fairfield or Solano County, where we have a CCA, a community choice aggregator. And as many of you may know, if you look at your energy bill, we get our power from MCE, Marin Clean Energy, and they help us fall in line with kind of achieving some of our climate action goals and trying to get slightly cleaner power. So they do some great work for us in Fairfield, all across the Bay Area. They cover 4 counties, but energy is as I learned more and more this week, and energy is quite a tricky topic, especially when you start looking at how California does it, and then maybe states like Texas. So that was a very informative conference, and had a chance to meet, for example, some of the board members from SMUD and the great work that they're doing with providing power to Sacramento. And this was in line with my responsibilities. One of the committees I serve on is the board for MCE, so this was in line with that responsibility. And then this upcoming week, looking forward to attending the State of the Base, a more somber event, I believe, former Councilman Batson's funeral, memorial service on Friday, and then the what's on Saturday? Yeah, Saturday has a lot of stuff, and I'm sure my colleagues will touch on it too, but Solano Surf Night, the Chocolate and Vine event, and I don't have a dog, so I'm going to go try to play with some dogs at the dog park event on Saturday morning. But that's about it. That's about it, Mayor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Madam Vice Mayor, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening. And for those of you who are watching from home, it's always super important to have you in the room with us because this is your meeting. So thank you for taking the time to be here. I just have a few announcements. I want to announce that our next Clergy Action Network Fairfield CAN meeting is on Tuesday, March 24th. We have these meetings the 4th Tuesday of every month, and we have them at 3 to 4:30 at the Fairfield Community Center in the Vista Conference Room. So the next meeting is on March 24th, 3 to 4:30 p.m., where we will be discussing, among other things, the National Day of Prayer, which CAN will be hosting on Thursday, May 7th from 12 to 1 p.m. right here in Council Chambers. CAN is also going to be discussing our Juneteenth celebration, which CAN will be hosting on the day, on Friday, June 19th from 4 to 7. And we will be down at the Solano County Lawn on Juneteenth. So please bring your family and friends and come hang out and celebrate Juneteenth with us. And we also will have a special guest from the Fairfield PAL organization to discuss volunteer opportunities. That will be Heather Sanderson, and she'll be at the PAL meeting on the 24th of this month. So that's our PAL business. I'm sorry, our CAN kind of schedule for the upcoming meeting. And I also want to say that I'm going to be hosting the public table. This is a neighborhood town hall meeting series. This is to go into each of the districts in the city and talk to residents about what they want to talk about, okay? So the first one is set for March 28th, and that will be held at the Cordelia Library. The District 2 meeting will be at Famous Creations in their meeting room downtown. The third is, and that's April 18th, my son's birthday, but I'll be at the meeting. And then District 3 meeting is on May the 9th. These are all Saturdays from 10 a.m. to noon. All Saturdays from 10 a.m. to noon. That will be May 9th at Mancus Neighborhood Center. District 4 will be at the Donnell Peacock Ranch that we all are very familiar with. That's going to be on May 30th. District 5 will be at Bethel Community Church, June 27th. And then District 6 will be on July 11th at the Lake Club at One Lake. All of this information you can find on my website at pambertani.com. untitled.com. So please go there, and I'll be posting this and everything in other venues as well. So looking forward to hearing from residents in the city about what's good, what needs to be fixed, and how we can get it done together. The public table. That's what the meeting's all about. And then finally, I attended the crab feed at Rancho Solano last Saturday evening, and I have to give it up. The meal was absolutely delicious. I very seldom eat other people's crab. So it was delicious. The crab cake's fantastic. So great job at Rancho Solano Golf Club for the crab feed. One thing that I did notice about the club is that it looks like it's in need of repair. It looks like that, along with Paradise Valley. It looks, for such a beautiful venue, in such a beautiful location, I think it's kind of a shame that the actual structure of the clubhouse is dated and in need of repair. So, Madam Mayor, I was going to ask you if it would be proper or appropriate to schedule, to agendize a report from the Golf Advisory Board for a report on what is going on and what needs to be done to get these facilities in tip-top shape, which is what they should be.
Absolutely. We will agendize something, and the Golf Advisory Board can
Right.
bring to us a report on that.
Awesome. You good with that, Christina? Excellent. Okay. Thank you. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Doug.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. First, I put a few flyers on the back table. One is for the Solano County Women's and Girls, the Commission for Women and Girls. There's going to be a Birth Justice Resource Fair coming up in April. It's a free event, and the raffles and prizes you register on Eventbrite online. There's also going to be a Clean Slate Day. That's where people you may know or need to get their records cleaned up if they have any problems. That's put on by the Public Defender's Office. The Vacaville Homeless Roundtable will be on March 18th. It's going to be at the William Carroll Health and Social Service Conference Room in Monte Vista. They need some support real bad. Also, the City of Fairfield Homeless Service Division is hosting the next Homeless Roundtable on Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026 in Willow Hall. It's just right over here. It's 10 to 1. If you'd like an invitation, please email Samantha Burrows at sburrows@fairfield.ca.gov. They also have pretty good sandwiches if you register. The City of Fairfield's Homeless Service Division is hosting the next Homeless Outreach Partnership event, HOPE, Wednesday, May 6, 2026 at Liberty Church. If you are interested in tabling and provide resources to that event, please reach out to hsd@fairfield.ca.gov. Applications are also on the website at fairfield.ca.gov homeless. The next GPA Cap Solano meeting is going to be on March 26th. That's at 6:30. It's at the old library, the County Events Center. And the JPA is also accepting applications for the Lived Experience Advisory Board. I put some of these on the back table, and you can also go to, if you have any questions, to calich@bcsh.ca.gov, and you can get your applications for that. And then there's also a request for proposals, direct client assistance providers. If you are a provider, there's some money to be had. There's like $90,000 available for services to help out our client folks, and these are also on the back table. Thank you, Mayor. That's my report.
Thank you, Councilman Doug. Councilman Tonneson.
Nothing from me, Mayor.
All right, and Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you. I wanted to talk about a few really great events I attended and then one coming up. So Festival of Colors was Sunday. That's the annual Holy Celebration. It was at Cordelia Park. Amazing food, dance, and really great conversations. Also, the first anniversary Indian Mart ribbon cutting was a week ago, 995 Oliver Road. They have really great hair products, teas, food. It is a wonderful place to shop. Please go and visit. On the educational side, I attended the North Bay Women's Health event, and there was a conversation about colorectal cancer awareness. Actually, it's Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month is this month. And it was really great information about how to early prevention, early detection, and how that we should, all get checked, and how this is a cancer that is attacking younger folks. People are now in their 20s and 30s. It's not, a senior type of a thing. I was surprised to learn how young, and they don't know why that is. They don't know if it's environmental or what we're eating. But if everyone at the sound of my voice can just do just a simple Google search on prevention and just learning a little bit about it. And finally, I would like to announce a lunchtime meet and greet with me, Councilwoman K. Patrice Williams, March 30th. That is a Monday, from 12 to 2 p.m. It's during lunchtime at Cordelia Library in the meeting room, 5050 Business Center Drive. Usually I go to local restaurants in Green Valley and Cordelia, and I see so many people there. And I was thinking, you know what? Why don't we all just go to the library, bring our lunches, and just conversate about anything. Literally, if it's not in closed session, I'll talk to you about anything. So I would love to have that conversation March 30th. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. So I have a few things to report. First, I just wanted to reiterate that former Councilman Jack Batson's memorial is from 2 to 3:30 at Rockville Presbyterian Church, and that is at, let me make sure I get this right, 4177 Suisun Valley Road, and obviously everybody's welcome to send him off and give condolences to his lovely wife. I went, everything runs together, I believe it was last weekend now. There was a great event. It happened to be in Vacaville, but it was to benefit the Sacramento Valley Veterans Cemetery. And what it was a small businesses from all over went there and they sold their goods, and that helped make money for the cemetery. And a new business, I was invited to go there. This is one of the reasons I went. It's a Fairfield business, and the name of it is B. Marin Candle Company. And let me tell you, they're all organic and non-smoking, no smoke coming out of it. Lovely, lovely candles. And you can find her on Facebook. And she is here in Fairfield. So it was a great event. It was jam-packed. I don't know how much they raised, but it looked good. And I bought stuff. I spent all my allowance for the week there. I wanted to also bring up a couple of things that all citizens should know about, and that is that right now the Fairfield Suisun Sewer District has put out a Prop 218, which is the legal, by law, you have to do this if you want to raise rates. The sewer district, which is made up of the City Council of Fairfield and Suisun City, wants to raise rates over 5 years from $51.62, this is for residences, to $78.20. And Right now is the time that if you oppose it, you need to let the sewer district know, and the way that you do that is go to ffsusunsewer.ca.gov, and it'll take you to where you can write, say you support it, you don't. But there are 33,000 folks who are hooked up and use sewer in Fairfield and Susan City, mostly a huge majority from Fairfield, of course. And so half of those would have to object to this for it to stop. You can also go to the meeting and tell us that you don't want it, or you do. So I wanted to let you know about that. And then the next thing also has to do with what has become a very controversial topic in our area between Fairfield and Vacaville. As you may know, if you've driven it both ways, we have a toll road there now. And you use your transponder to move into that lane, and you're charged to drive. And the more traffic, the more expensive it is. Now, you don't have to get in those lanes at all, and so that's one good thing. But I really fought against this for a number of reasons. Number one, I wanted to let people know that we are the only county in the Bay Area to have this toll on the weekends. In other words, the state decided we'd be good guinea pigs. And I opposed this for very many reasons, but mostly because the people in Solano County, we are the poorest county in the 9 Bay Area counties, Bay Area. Our people commute more and longer than other areas. We already pay more tolls than anybody else if you're going in. I'm like Marin County versus us, it's very expensive, and we have the equity here is way out of line. But I was outvoted. I was the sole vote no, but that's okay. But we are having another public hearing on it, so people can come. You can also just send emails to all of us, and there are bugs being worked out too, because there were a lot of complaints that people not getting into that toll road were being charged. In other words, the lane over. And I got complaints that the state wasn't paying attention when they would. So the bottom line is some of those things are getting worked out. But I wanted to let you know. And I will let everybody know the actual date that we're going to have that public hearing. The state will be there, and it's important that they hear it, not just by me alone. But if you don't want to, that's okay too. I have gotten a lot of response in the county about this, and I think we need to do better when we're talking about equity. People like to talk about it, but when you go to put it in practice, not so much. So just wanted to let you know of those things, and that's it. And so I'll turn to Mr. City Manager and see what he has to report.
No reports this evening, Mayor.
Yeah, I took all his time. And then to Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to report out from closed session earlier this evening on item F4, which was conference with legal counsel on anticipated litigation regarding a review and legal analysis of citizen requests for refunds during landscape lighting and maintenance districts. The City Council has directed staff to put this matter on the agenda by a 7-0 vote on April 21st, 26th. That will be a public meeting to discuss the same matter. And that will be agendized for April 21st, 2026 at a regular meeting of the Fairfield City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. And Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a statement to make, actually. So I have been the elected clerk for 12 years now. In 2014, I was appointed to fulfill the remaining years left on the prior clerk's term. She was elected to a 4-year term, but then resigned after 1 year. Then I was elected in 2016, 2020, and 2024. And my term is up in November of 2028, and I do not plan to run again. So since I have run unopposed every time, I'm strongly suggesting that it's time to make the city clerk an appointed position instead of an elected position. The majority of cities in California have appointed city clerks. The appointed trend is many municipalities are shifting from elected to appointed clerk positions to save on election costs, for one thing, ensure professional qualified candidates are selected. We're a general law city, and traditionally it was designed to have elected clerks, but it's kind of like considered old school now. Most cities are transitioning to appointed roles through a vote of the electorate. And that's the issue. It does have to go before the voters, so it will have to go on the November ballot 2026, because my term is up in 2028, and it cannot be on the ballot the year that the term is up. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. And I don't know if it needs to be agendized or...
Yeah, we will have to agendize it.
Okay.
I'll work with the city manager on timing on that.
Okay, I just wanted to let everyone know that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
almost 3 years away, but we do have to put it on the November ballot,
Sure.
so.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and I want to say thank you, and you're not going anywhere for a while.
No.
But for your public service.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You've been fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All righty then. And so now, Madam Clerk, we're going to turn to presentations, if you would.
Yes, proclamation and poem declaring Women's History Month, presented by Vice Mayor Bertani to the Daughters of the American Revolution, the Chief Solano chapter. You can see they're all in period costume, so we'll have to get a photo at the end, maybe up in front here. And then Poet Laureate Michael Wiley will read his original poem entitled Camille's Signature after the Vice Mayor reads the proclamation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening again, everyone. You look fabulous, by the way. Don't look too close. Okay, so here is the proclamation. Should we wait to have them come up or come up now? Would you like to come up now so everybody can see you? Yay! And just come on around here. And who wants to hold the proclamation while I read it? Robin. All right. Beautiful, beautiful clothes. Just absolutely gorgeous. Okay. National Women's History Month, March 2026. Whereas in 1978, Women's History Day began in Sonoma County, California, and championed by Gerda Lerner and the National Women's History Alliance, led to its recognition as a national week in 1980 and ultimately as National Women's History Month in the United States in 1987, after which the observance spread internationally. Whereas National Women's History Month is celebrated annually in March, and the 2026 theme is Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future, expands our understanding of sustainability beyond just environmental concerns. And whereas in this pivotal movement of history, we are called upon to confront a range of overlapping global challenges, including climate change, economic insecurity, healthcare disparities, and threats to democratic participation. Whereas these issues are deeply intertwined, and women, particularly from marginalized communities, often experience their impacts more acutely. Whereas the theme encompasses financial sustainability, community resilience, leadership succession, and intergenerational equity, whether developing green technologies, advancing economic justice, strengthening educational systems, or building civic power, women are designing blueprints for sustainable transformation. Whereas this theme affirms that shaping a sustainable future means fostering systems that support both people and our planet. Now, therefore, Catherine Katmoy, Mayor of the City of Fairfield, hereby proclaims the month of March as National Women's History Month, and the Mayor calls upon the citizens of Fairfield to recognize and celebrate the countless contributions of women to our community and to our world, and to honor their strength, courage, and wisdom. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Thank you. Would you like to say a few words? Just anything you'd like to share?
Sure. The Daughters of the American Revolution, especially this chapter, but nationally, we are about historic preservation, education, and service. And that is what our goal is, and that is what our chapter's goal is, and that is how we get involved. So we are open for presentations for elementary schools that are studying American history and other ways to serve. We're looking for that. Youth Citizen Awards, things like that. We're just happy to recognize the youth of our society. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll have our poet laureate read the poem.
All right, good evening, Mayor Moy, council members of the public. Just before I start reading the poem, just a little bit of background. This poem is titled Camille's Signature, and that is after the sculptor Camille Claudel. If you're unfamiliar with Camille Claudel, she was a French sculptor. She worked in the studios of Rodin, and while she was celebrated in her own right, it was largely posthumously. Her contributions within the studio were contributions to the many studies of hands and feet, which of course are hallmarks of Rodin the sculptor, and often that work did not carry her name. So this is Camille's signature. Clay yields to the pressure of the loop tool, rise of wrist to the slope of fingers, or the curve of heels arch toward splayed toes, forms molded for casting. It's here where intention travels tendon, where hands and feet reach, that her studies are formed. Study in chalk, dust like powdered marble, her numbered models articulate gravity in new forms. Study in steel, as her scalpel chisels its incision and remedy of broken figure. Study in breath cast outward over microphone, the solidarity of a crowd bravely rallied. Study in her stride, striking pavement in full propulsion, as if newly released from stone. Study in carbon fiber, metal frame, socket fitted, alignment set on cast limb. This monument of accumulated gestures, at its base, her bronze feet polished by countless passing palms. Thanks.
Where's your hat? Where's your hat?
You can be in the picture.
Okay.
Yes, Ina said she would take the photo.
Okay, I'll come. Oh, he's going to hold the votes for women. I'm standing by you.
Can we see? Yeah, let's move in the well so we
Okay,
can get the
yeah, that's great, yes. Go ahead. I love this.
Me too.
Madam Vice Mayor, I'm going to get you and me to sacrifice votes for women.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that would work.
Thank you, Ina. And now our second proclamation, proclamation declaring Education and Sharing Day, presented by Mayor Moy to Rabbi Zaklos of Chabad of Solano County.
Good evening, Rabbi. How are you?
Good, thank God.
Thank God. Blessed. Here we go. You want to hold this? And I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation. And this is for Education and Sharing Day. Whereas the basis for the continuity of any society is education. And in Fairfield, California, the education of our youth is a priority. In order to achieve its highest goals, education must not only impart knowledge, but also teach the students how to live, forming and strengthening their moral character to make a better life for themselves as individuals and for society as a whole, imparting moral and ethical values that have been the bedrock of society since the dawn of civilization, including the values known as the 7 Noah, say it to me.
Noahide laws.
That's difficult for me. Noahide laws. I got it. Noahide laws. I know Noahide laws. A global spiritual leader and leading advocate for the advancement of education. Now you're going to say this for me too.
The Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem M. Schneerson of righteous memory.
I'll learn to spell it later too, but I love when you say it. Stressed that a moral and ethical education empowers every individual to develop their full potential in making the world a better place. Such an education can foster unity among diverse peoples by inspiring greater acts of goodness and kindness, imbued with awareness that even a single positive deed has the power to change the world and help usher in an era of global peace. Whereas March 29th, 2026 will mark 124 years since the Rebbe's birth, and this year marks the 76th anniversary of his leadership of the Chabad Lubavitch movement. Chabad is an acronym of 3 Hebrew words for wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. The name Lubavitch comes from the city that served as the movement's headquarters for more than a century and means the city of love. Of all the ethical values that inform our civilization, none is more important, none, than love. Love of wisdom, love of our fellow man, and love of our Creator. These values have guided the Chabad Lubavitch movement throughout its history and are the essence of education at its best. We should be certain to pass on the precious heritage to all young Americans. Whereas Education and Sharing Day is observed each year on the Rebbe's birthday in recognition of his outstanding and lasting contributions toward the improvement of education, morality, and acts of charity around the world. It is a day to pause, reflect, and ensure our youth have the foundation necessary to lead lives rich in purpose and fulfillment through service and good work. Now, therefore, I, Catherine Cat Moy, Mayor of Fairfield, do hereby proclaim March 29th, 2026 to be Education and Sharing Day in the city of Fairfield, and call upon government officials, educators, volunteers, and citizens to reach out to those within your communities to work together to create a better, brighter, and more promising future for all. And Rabbi, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a minute or two.
All yours.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Mayor Moy. My name is Rabbi Chaim Zaklos, and I live here in Solano County for 16 years with my wife and 9 children. I want to thank the mayor and the city council for recognizing Sunday, March 29th as Education and Sharing Day here in the city of Fairfield. As mentioned in the proclamation, Education and Sharing Day highlights the idea that education should not only focus on knowledge and academic achievements, but also on developing character, kindness, and responsibility towards others. Education is often seen as giving children the knowledge and skills they need to build a career and succeed in the world. But education must not stop there. A good education must also help shape the kind of people they become. An education should not only teach young people how to make a living, but how to live, how to be kind, responsible, and honest, and how to look out for one another. When students are taught that even a small positive encounter and action can influence the people around them, it changes how they see themselves and their role in the world. They begin to understand that their choices matter and that they have the ability to make a meaningful difference in their environments and in their communities. Education and Sharing Day invites us to take a moment to reflect on that responsibility and to encourage acts of kindness, generosity, and care for others. To help bring that idea into everyday life, I brought a small gift with me today for each of you. It's called an ARC, which stands for Acts of Routine Kindness. It also looks a little like the ark, an ark that saved Noah and his family when the world had lost its moral compass. The idea is very simple. Keep this ark in your home or your office. Place a small coin into it regularly. And I'll start with that myself here today. It's not about the amount, it's about the habit. It helps exercise what I like to call the giving muscle, reminding us that even a small act of kindness done consistently shape the kind of people we become. And perhaps ideas like this can also serve as simple ways to encourage students in our schools to practice small acts of generosity and kindness, helping them develop the habits of caring for others and a sense of responsibility for our society. Because when young people learn not only the knowledge they need to succeed, but also the values that shape their character, they grow into individuals who strengthen their communities and help build a kinder and more caring world. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll go over here. Can you take it with mine too? Thank you. And the rabbis also? Oh, you're the photographer on top of being the clerk, on top of being, okay.
I feel like the paparazzi. One more. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi.
If I may just share.
Yes. Thank you, Rabbi. I filled mine up, was it last year? Had my daughter give it to the homeless. So, yeah, thank you very much. All right. So, now we're going to turn to public comments, Madam Clerk.
Yes, public comments. Persons wishing to address the City Council on subjects not on the agenda, but within the jurisdiction of the council may do so at this time. The council cannot discuss or take action on matters not on the agenda for this meeting, but council members may briefly respond to statements made or questions raised by the public, ask for clarification from staff, refer the matter to staff, request staff to report back to the council at a subsequent meeting, or place the matter on a future agenda. If you're online to speak on an agenda item, please use the raise your hand feature or press *9 on your phone. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes per item as determined by the mayor. And I do have 2 speaker cards. First is E.J. Johnson.
Hi, EJ.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. I'm happy to share that Missouri Street Theater has officially kicked off its 2026 season with a hugely successful opening of Rent. We welcomed full houses, standing ovations, and the kind of electric energy that reminds us exactly why live theater matters. It was a powerful and joyful way to begin the year at Downtown Theater. And we're just getting started. This season, we're excited to welcome an incredible lineup of performances and partners on stage, including Flock of Seagirls, Supersonic, House of Floyd, the Solano Winds, and Voena. We are also thrilled that Drew Harrison will be bringing his John Lennon tribute to Fairfield, featuring our very own award-winning a cappella group, Mist. Speaking of Mist, we're incredibly proud to share that recently placed second in their last competition, and they'll be heading to semifinals in Redwood City. We wish them the best of luck as they continue representing Fairfield with such talent and heart. We are also excited to be partnering with Glasshoff Ranch on a new public art exhibit that will open in 4 weeks. Another way we are working to activate the space and invite communities to the arts. Additionally, the theater's recent lighting upgrade is now complete and has made a meaningful difference in the building, enhancing not only aesthetic experience, but improving safety and energy efficiency. We are very grateful for the city to that investment. And finally, the Downtown Theater and Police Activities League are thrilled to announce that we are hosting a 1980s prom in the courtyard this May, a fun community-centered event we can't wait to share more about soon. Thank you so much for your continued support of the arts, and we are proud to be a part of what makes this community vibrant. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. My daughter, who used to do a lot of work with the theater and outside, she will be going with her best friend to see Rent. She did not invite me, but I'll go a different time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Next is Monica Brown.
Unusual. Good evening, Supervisor Brown.
Hi.
I see you have your green on.
Yes, happy St. Patty's Day. I'm speaking today as an individual. I read in the newspaper that there's going to be a continued investigation, and you guys have already spent $56,000 and did not like what you heard back. And then you voted to have a cap of $25,000 to continue. And the article in the paper indicated that the special counsel found no evidence that the mayor resided outside the city limits. I would hope that city manager indicated that with everything going on in the world and gas prices going up, that there might be an issue about maybe the city doesn't need Measure P to be passed. So I just wanted to let you know what's out there in the world and not really happy. I wish I could, when I get something I don't like, turn it down. But I don't like the fact that you guys did that. I don't think that is right. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor, and I'll just make one correction. 26,000 has been spent, and then another 25,000 could be spent, but with a cap.
I apologize.
Oh, okay, I just, no, you don't need to apologize. I just want to make sure that the record was straight, but thank you.
Did anyone else wish to speak on public comment? There are no hands raised online, Mayor.
Okay, then, so what we'll do is move on to Housing Authority.
Convening the joint meeting of the City Council and Housing Authority. The holding of a joint meeting of the City Council and Housing Authority entitles the council members to receive additional compensation of $35 for attending this joint meeting. And the one item is on consent, but I'll read the statement. All matters listed on the Housing Authority consent calendar are to be approved with one motion unless a member of the Housing Authority or the public requests that separate action be taken on a specific item. And I don't normally read the item since it's on consent.
Sure. First of all, do we have any public comment at all on the consent calendar?
I do not. Did anyone wish to speak on this item? No. No hands
Okay.
raised.
And colleagues, anybody want to pull anything from this? No. Then I will entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar for Housing Authority. And we need a roll call.
Yes.
Oh, no, we don't.
Oh.
I keep thinking poor Doris.
I thought we did too. Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that was unanimous. All right, we're going to reconvene the meeting of the City Council and turn to the consent calendar for the City Council.
Okay, the regular consent, all matters listed on the consent calendar are to be approved with one motion unless a member of the City Council or the public requests that separate action be taken on a specific item. I do not have any speaker cards. Did anyone wish to speak on the regular consent? No? Okay.
All right, anything need to be pulled here, colleagues? Nope. Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar, please.
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That was unanimous. And now we're rolling right into new business.
Okay, item O, new business. O1, presentation of draft 2026 build fee study update. Presentation and discussion regarding the proposed 2026 building fee update. And our presenter is Jeff Thomas, Chief Building Official.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of council. I'm Jeff Thomas, your Chief Building Official, and I am here to present findings of our recent fee study for the Building Safety Division. So obviously, we've heard tonight, fee increases are not a popular topic. However, there is some good news that we found out of this study. So why is this not working? There we go. Oh.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so we started, once we started getting findings from our consultant, we began outreach to the community, specifically the development community. I purposely reached out to the BIA to start with over a month ago, and that's the Bay Area Building Industry Association. A majority of both residential and commercial home builders are members of that association, so they provided a broad outreach for us, as well as reaching out to all of our current residential home builders and several of our commercial developers that have or may soon have developments submitted to us. The overall sentiment was very positive from the development community. Most of them stated that fee increases by the building division don't generally move the needle on development in a negative way. Things that typically do are development fees, just overall construction costs, and financing available. As we all know, the financing has become very difficult for a lot of developers to maintain reasonable costs. The biggest issue that was noted to me during those inquiries and discussions with them is they wanted to ensure that our service levels were maintained, and that if these small fee increases were able for us to maintain or hopefully even improve our services, that they were actually very beneficial and for the fee increases. Some of them actually had indicated they might come and speak positively about it, but as you see, nobody's here, so I think that's also a good sign.
Were they pulling your leg?
No, I don't think so, no. I've formed very good relationships with a lot of our developers, and I think between that and the service levels that we've been able to provide, they appreciate how quickly we're able to respond to their concerns. So before I get into the fee study, I want to backtrack a little bit. Building Safety Division, the City of Fairfield, has been ensuring safe homes and businesses in the city since 1947, proudly. These permit fees help recover our costs for administration of plan review, inspection, and code enforcement services within the city to ensure a safe built environment. Proper implementation of these codes ensure safe structures, reduce hazards, and lower property insurance rates. Currently, the City of Fairfield is rated by the ISO, which is the National Insurance Services Office, as a 2, 1 being the best. We used to be a 3 about 6 years ago, and so we have improved our services through not only our implementation of the codes, but the qualified staffing that we have and maintain within the city. Again, proper application of the building standards codes save lives and limits damage. Unfortunately, codes, for the most part, are promulgated through disaster, whether man-made or natural. Just a curious point, the first known building codes were adopted in, I think it was somewhere around 17,000 BC by Hammurabi. I think that's saying his name right. So he was the one that back then it was kind of an eye for an eye. If you built somebody's house and it fell down, then,
Uh-oh.
So that's the first known building codes. But unfortunately, they come out of damage. So, okay, on to the fee study. So overview, currently the division has approximately 200 flat rate and base rate fees. Through this fee study, we found that most of these project fees were too high. Mostly because it was determined that our hourly rate fee structure was too high. The current fee structure that we have adopted had a CPI increaser on it annually. And because of the high CPI rates that the state has seen over the last several years, those rates created our hourly rate to be beyond what it actually costs the city to operate hourly. And so most of those fees will go down, and I'll show you some of those in a moment. However, the study also found that the reverse was true for large projects, that those fees for those large projects were not adequately covering our service costs. So under our current fee schedule, if this proposal is not adopted, then our fees will increase roughly about 5 to 5.8%, depending on the fee type, come July 1st. Under the proposed fee study, we will maintain our flat rate and base rate fees, but the fee study structures it in such a way that it more accurately reflects our costs of services and realigns those services for the projects with the higher service level needs that currently we aren't meeting. So with our proposed fee schedule, or with our current fee schedule right now, which would go up about 5 to 5.8%, the net increase in this proposed fee study would further increase those fees about 12 to 12.7% for new footprint residential, commercial, and other valuation-based permits. However, it is reducing our hourly rates anywhere from 5% to 18% reduction in our hourly rates. The net overall average fee increase for those flat and base rate fees is only 3%, as opposed to it would be 5+% if we maintain the current fee structure. So basically what that means is a majority of our community who does solars, water heater replacements, just the mom and pop homeowners, are actually going to see a fee reduction in almost every single permit category. So an example of some of these proposed fee changes, as you can see, I'll just hit, say, on bathroom remodels as an example. Currently, the fee is $392.50. The proposed fee schedule is going to drop that to $245, which is a 60% fee decrease for those items. Same with swimming pools. It's a 58% decrease for swimming pools. Now, some of this fee study has realigned some of our costs for commercial projects. Some of them are going down, but I wanted to highlight a couple that are going up. We see a lot of kitchen hoods for restaurants that come in. It was determined that the service levels for those that we must provide for the installation and fire safety hazards that those hoods involve. I mean, we had a Kinder's that caught fire and burnt down not long ago because unfortunately they didn't maintain their service hoods and their equipment that would protect them from fire. So it is a very high intensive inspection process, and it was determined that we weren't adequately maintaining. So again, this proposal is realigning our service levels to where those types of projects should be adequately paying for them. And then we put together a couple of cost comparisons to just show how we align with other local jurisdictions in the area. The very bottom fee, the Fairfield existing fee, is what a current 2,500 square foot residential home would cost right now, about $6,500. Under the current fee schedule in July, that would go up to $6,800. And under the proposed fee schedule, it goes to $7,800, or excuse me, $7,600. Vacaville is the only jurisdiction that is lower than us in the region. And as you can see, most of these jurisdictions are anywhere from 50 to 100% plus more than we are.
Could you maybe
Yes.
touch on why, if you can, about what the discrepancy between Vacaville and the rest of the region is on this slide?
You know, I've reached out to Vacaville and was...
Could you please go through me to ask a question? Could you please go through me? Thank you.
So then I'll go on to the last slide here, which is a commercial project comparison. And again, so currently this is for a 10,000 square foot commercial building, type M, which is like a retail sales place, type 5 construction, which is wood frame construction. Existing fees for such a project would be roughly about $16,000. Under the current fees, or the proposed fee schedule, it would be about $18,800. But again, other than Vacaville, as you can see, every other jurisdiction in the area's permit costs are nearly double or almost triple compared to Berkeley. And so with that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you. Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah. So, Councilmember Sandu, I reached out to the city of Vacaville to try to understand why their permit fees are so low. In just looking at their fee structure, their number of staffing, their population, it appears that they are being subsidized quite a bit by the general fund. And so while I'm not able to verify, I wasn't able to verify that, and I can certainly, dig into that more and bring that back to you, when we bring this forward. But it seems like they're, inadequately recovering their costs.
Great question. Councilman Tonneson.
So, Jeff, are there inflators built into these?
There are, and so we will, when the resolution is put together, that will have inflators. And unfortunately, that is one of the large reasons why building safety is in this predicament, where the last couple of years we haven't. So one of the biggest factors under the original fee structure was with valuation-based construction, we have a fee table that, basically if your valuation is between, X and Y, here's your permit fee. And then there's like an aggregator over that certain amount that goes up like $5, $7 per every 1,000. Those aggregators weren't being adjusted. And because that's why we're seeing that 17% increase between that table and the current proposed one, is because the previous consultant didn't build that increase into those multipliers. And so it's unfortunately, I mean, so for the last several years, large development's kind of been, getting a break, so to speak.
So that's good, we're addressing it. Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns?
So then I would like to bring it back to
Yep.
council for direction
Sure.
on
I
how
have
to
a
carry
couple
forward.
questions
Oh, I'm
first.
sorry, Madam Mayor.
That's all right. Not a problem. First of all, very good presentation. I appreciate it. My question is this actually, you can probably answer it, if not the city attorney. So the law on these fees are that they must reflect the actual cost of doing the work?
Yes, typically, so there is some legal interpretation, I guess, with respect to whether a jurisdiction charges too much or doesn't charge enough. There's a fine balance in there,
Sure.
right? You don't want the general fund subsidizing development,
No.
but you don't certainly want to overcharge the community for development and that money to go into the general fund. So it is a fine balance.
Yeah.
And we believe that what the consultant has come up with, certainly with what our service costs have been over the last several years, with just increase in technology, increase in state unfunded mandates, WUI, Wildland Urban Interface, is one that has been in the code since 2007. However, it hasn't impacted Fairfield since January.
Right.
So it is a new nuance that, again, another service that we have to provide that we don't have resources for currently.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, can you speak to the legality of the fees? Is it like a water? With the water, you can't charge more than what it actually costs to deliver. Is it the same with these fees?
You can't just try to make money off of these things.
Darn it.
But I'll defer to the consultant, but I will mention that through this process, someone from the city attorney's office has been working to review these fees and will continue to review them before they're brought for final approval, just to make sure that they're lining up with, all necessary state laws and regulations. But it's not, I don't want to say that you can't, that it has to be exactly for services. There is some wiggle room, and, it's a little subjective, but, we're keeping an eye on it, basically.
So it's different than like the water?
Actually, that's a fairly good analogy, but there are different regulations. And
Sure.
I'm going to say I am not as I'm sitting here, up to speed on the building
Okay.
fees. We have Ms.
right.
Ellerman from our office, I think, is working with you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do know from past legislation, there was even the California Supreme Court, I think it was 2008, I'm blanking on the name of the law.
That's all right.
But it was determined that, through that California Supreme Court ruling, that this particular jurisdiction was overcharging fees. It's not like an impact fee where that is determined that you're overcharging impact fees. Impact fees that are overcharged have to be refunded. Fees for service that are overcharged based on this ruling, it just requires a jurisdiction to reduce their fees to a point where that surplus has then been used.
That makes sense, thank you. And then this would be a question maybe to whoever wants to answer. Even the audience, you guys are in on this, so come on down. The question is, the big discrepancies between Vacaville and Fairfield, does that and will that cause any reticence to build here versus going to Vacaville and putting in homes?
Well, if I can,
Yes.
I think I can speak to that to some degree. I think the short answer is no, based on the feedback that I got from the developers.
Good.
I believe that our service levels exceed that they receive in Vacaville.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot of reasons for that beyond our fee structure. But in addition to that, what Fairfield provides and where our service levels are and just our community, I think draws the developers here. And, certainly a few $1,000s is not pennies. But when you're looking at, the cost to build a home in, whether it's Vacaville or Fairfield, roughly $400,000+ for a single-family dwelling, a couple $1,000 permit fee difference for increased service levels, developers are happy to pay that. And I think one of those reasons why is in Fairfield, they know what they're going to get. So that to them is priceless.
Yes.
Because, they know at this, they're going to get that. And even going through our challenges with our implementation of our new system that we went through, we worked with our developers, we gave them courtesy inspections, we ensured that we didn't slow things down, and I think they really appreciate that.
I think you're right. I speak to them. And I appreciate everything that you and your crew do every day. So thank you. And did you have something, Mr. City Manager?
Yeah, I was just going to add, I appreciated everything that Jeff said there.
Yes.
I believe, and it's been a few months now, but I do believe there was information put out by the city of Vacaville that they're looking at all of their user fees as well. So, this being one of those user fees that we updated, 3 years ago?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's been a while for them, and I think this is one of those areas that they're looking at as City of Vacaville as well, is dealing with a deficit and a recognition that they're not covering their full costs.
Yes, thank you very much. So no other questions, right? All right, then I guess that's all we're doing, not voting. Is
Yeah,
that
just
right?
direction on whether to bring forward the fees as proposed or, modify them in any way.
Yes. It looks like we have thumbs up across to go ahead and bring them back the way they
Okay,
are.
well, we will see you on April 7th then.
We will see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
All
Madam
right.
Vice Mayor, council members, thank you.
Thank you. Unless there's anything else, I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.